Hello, Tarmo here, and a quick tutorial to show you a very interesting function that is available to you in PCI Geomatica Banff. It's called the Smart GeoFill, and what we often have are satellite images where we have features that are contamination. Maybe it's cloud, maybe it's some other atmospheric effect that we want to remove, and we want to remove it by either replacing it with similar expected values from somewhere else within the same image, or potentially from another image taken of the same area. The latter is something that we'll cover in a different tutorial. The former is one that I'm going to show you how to do today. So right now I have open a satellite image from Landsat 7, and it is from Mount Kenya. So we can quickly look at the full image. It's quite horrible along the edges, but for the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to zoom in on Mount Kenya. We see that there's a lot of cloud. These really large areas that are very opaque might be very difficult to deal with, and those aren't the purpose of today's demonstration. What I'd like to do is bring your attention to these smaller, isolated popcorn clouds that we do have something that we can potentially do to fix. So what we are going to do is look at, maybe that's zoomed in a little bit too far. Let's look at this example right here. Okay, so we have a cloud and its shadow. Let's start by replacing these dark pixels with something that we expect that would be on the ground to create a visually more pleasing result, and something that's going to allow us to perform an analysis, a land cover classification that might be a little bit biased because the actual measurements aren't taken from the ground conditions, but they're going to be from something very nearby. We're going to start by clicking on Tools and selecting the Smart GeoFill option. I'm going to slide this toolbar a little bit down to the bottom here so it's out of the way. We're going to select, make sure that this has output, and then from the selection mode we're going to choose fill. We're going to then outline by drawing a polygon by clicking with our left mouse button a perimeter around the area that we want to replace. And it's going to draw a dotted blue line or polygon around the feature that we really want to get rid of. We then put the mouse over that polygon and notice that the pointer becomes a 4-directional arrow. We hold down the mouse button, left button, and we can now drag to a new location and replace the contaminated area with the values from the clean region. So this looks pretty decent. We can click on this source visibility button and hold it down and see what it looked like before. Definitely looks like an improvement. We can click on this button here to remove the polygon lines. Oh, we can see that boundary. It's pretty sharp. We want to fix that up. Maybe we're going to add a blend width. All of a sudden it looks gone, but it looks a little bit smoothed out. Maybe the 20 pixels is a little bit too much. So let's decrease this a little bit to reduce the radius over which we perform the blending. Oh, too little. Maybe something like that. 5 pixels, 4 pixels, 6 pixels. Maybe that looks pretty decent. So that's the area that we're replacing. This is what it looked like before. And it's not perfect, but it's not too bad. Maybe we'll keep it at 7 pixels. Once we're happy with it, we can paste the results to the file. We can reset our selection criteria, and now notice that the cloud shadow is gone. We can do the same thing for this cloud, we can do the same thing for that cloud, and we can move on to do all kinds of these corrections. Sometimes we have a more uniform background. It becomes easier to do this kind of work. Let's look at this one little isolated cloud here. Let's quickly draw a polygon around it. We can find a nice replacement. Looks pretty decent. We don't even need a lot of blending going on. We turn the boundaries on. Maybe it's a little bit. There we go. That looks pretty decent. Maybe we need something that's a little bit lighter green in tone. Maybe this looks better. Let's look at that. Ah, there we go. Beautiful. Okay, cloud is now gone, and we can paste that to the original file. We can then save the results to the image and continue working from there. Keep in mind that we can do this by replacing with pixel values from a different file. Again, another tutorial, so stay tuned, and we'll have that up at some point in the near future. Happy remote sensing. Talk to you later.